G'day, I'm Andy Dolphin. Welcome to my studio.
I started this painting by toning the board down with a mixture of cadmium scarlet and permanent crimson. This just takes away the harsh white of the board. It'll make it easier later on when I come to paint the clouds, and I won't have to compete with all that white primer. It also gives me a nice warm foundation that will show through here and there and just add warmth to the finished painting. I'm using a fairly typical Impressionist palette for this painting. It consists of a warm and cool of each of the three primaries, the red, blues and yellows, white for tinting, and I'm using an alkyd medium and a few drops of mineral spirits added to that as my main solvent. This painting is mainly about the winter clouds, so I've dedicated about 2/3 of the painting space to the sky. Now the problem with clouds is they don't stay still. The clouds you see when you first start setting up your easel are going to be in a different place by the time you start painting. Once you're halfway through the painting, they'll be somewhere else again, and by the time you're finished, they may be gone altogether. And the clouds don't just move, they're constantly changing size and shape. So if we're going to paint on location rather than taking a photo, what do? Well, at some point you've just got to make a decision. Draw the cloud where you want the cloud to be, choose a nice size, shape, something that suits your composition, and stick with it. You're going to have to use your memory to a certain degree to remember where the highlights and shadows fell, what made that cloud interesting at the time. But also you can usually refer to other clouds in the sky. As time wears on and your cloud is gone, you can refer to other clouds for information about how the highlights and shadows work, what the tones are, and also pick up some interesting shapes off other clouds that you can use to decorate your main cloud as you work through the painting. From this point on, there's really nothing special happening. It's just a matter of strengthening up some of the darker tones of the trees, making sure that we've got the contrast that we need, things getting stronger, darker, richer as they come forwards, and a little bit bluer and greyer in the distance. I work on the contrast between the foreground grass and the trees, making sure that the foreground grass is dark because it is actually in the shadow of a cloud, but not so dark that I can't tell the difference between it and the trees. The strip of light in the distance just uses warmer, brighter colours, a little bit of white but predominantly yellow with a little bit of cerulean blue in to green it up. And everything from this point on is really just fidgeting, adjusting, adding detail here and there, softening this, strengthening that, until I'm happy with it. So that's about it for this plein air sketch. In the finished painting you can still see the warm red underpainting coming through, particularly in the clouds where it adds a little bit of life to the blues and greys that are going on up there. There are spots of red coming through, particularly in the groves of trees, and a few spots here and there in the foreground shadow area. So that's it for me this time. The trick here is just get out and give it a go. If you've never painted clouds before, then you're in for a real treat and a real challenge. So just get out there with your easel, set up, stare, make a decision, stick to the decision, and have a go. If you don't have a go, you'll never get it. So until next time, it's Andy Dolphin. I'll see you later.